Hi guys, and welcome to today's lesson on titrations. Today we are going to be looking at questions regarding titrations and also in the use of indicators. Okay, so what is a titration? So a titration is a practical laboratory method to determine the concentration of an acid or a base. You would have done this somewhere in your classroom for a practical investigation. So the concentration of an acid or base can be determined by the accurate neutralization using a standard solution. So remember, a standard solution is a solution of a known concentration. And the neutralization occurs at the equivalence point. And remember, the equivalence point is not necessarily where the pH is 7, so where the solution is neutral, but when the molar amount of the acid and base is the same according to the molar ratio. So we use this equation to do our calculations when it comes to the titrations. So that Na or Nb is it can either be the precise mole of the substance, the mole of acid or the mole of base. So A is for acid, B is for base, C for concentration, V for volume, N for mole. Or it can be the mole ratio. So if the ratio is 1 to 2, you would just put in the 1 and the 2, not necessarily the precise number of moles. So let's look at the titration setup. Over here we have the burette where your liquid goes into. In here goes your acid and my stopcock and my conical flask and the base together with the indicator. So you can read your volume of base from the conical flask, but for the acid you have to look at how much has gone into the conical flask. So that difference in volume over there, that is how you're going to determine the volume of your acid. So how we do a titration, you would have done this in a practical investigation, is first you add your unknown solution to your flask and you add your indicator as well, because remember we need to know when neutralization occurs, where the equivalence point is, at what volume added is does the reaction reach its equivalence point. And then you add your unknown solution, which is in the burette. You drip it slowly into the flask and you swirl it continuously, otherwise you won't necessarily know the precise equivalence point. And when the color of your solution over here changes, you have reached equivalence, and then you stop immediately. And remember, this is very delicate work, so don't turn the stopcock open too quickly. Very slowly drip it, and remember to stir continuously. You need to work accurate when you're doing your laboratory work. Normally, I just want to mention, normally it's the base in here, and then with an unknown concentration of acid. It doesn't necessarily have to be that way around. So it can be another way around as well, depending on which concentration you know. The known concentration is in here, the one with the known, either your acid or your base, and then you want to determine your concentration of your unknown. So this is my standard solution, and that is my my substance with your unknown concentration. So let's now look at indicators. So an indicator is a compound that changes color according to the pH of a substance. So this is very important for me in my titration because it tells me when the equivalence point has been reached, when neutralization has occurred. So it's very important that you know these common indicators and what their pH range is and what the color is that they start with, if it's in an acid or whether it's in a base, and the color at the equivalence point. So it's very important to choose your indicator correct. It must match the type of titration, because otherwise you won't know when your equivalence point has been reached. So let's look at hydrolysis quickly. We're going to discuss hydrolysis again when we do our pH calculation. But basically for now, all you need to know is that when I have a strong acid that reacts with a strong base, my solution is going to be neutral. Or a weak acid with a weak base, my solution is going to be neutral, which means the pH range in which the equivalence will occur is going to be around 7. When I have a strong acid with a weak base, my solution is going to be acidic. So the equivalence point is going to be reached at a very low pH. And the same if I have a weak acid with a strong base, my solution, I'm going to have an alkali solution. So my pH, the equivalence point is going to be reached at a relatively high pH. So that's why it's very important to choose my indicator correctly. Because if I have, for example, a strong acid that reacts with a strong base, my equivalence point, like we said, is going to be reached at a pH of around 7. So if I choose, for example, this indicator over here, the methyl orange, then I'm going to add and add and add my acid or my base, but the color isn't going to change because it only changes color in this pH range. So I'm not going to go, so if I go out of that pH range, it won't change color. It's going to stay the same color. So if it's in an acid already and I add base, then it's going to stay red. It's not going to change its color. So that's very, very important. So you need to know your acids and bases, which are your strong acids and your strong bases, so that you know if you look at this, the reaction, what is reacting with what to result in what type of solution, so that I know what is the correct indicator to use. So it's very important that you memorize these common indicators. Okay, so lastly, let's just look at an example of how they can ask you to calculate an unknown concentration. Okay, so let's look at this example. So remember, when I'm dealing with my titrations and I have this equation, it's a relatively big equation with a lot of values and unknowns. So it's very important that when you go through your scenario, that you start writing down what the values, what values you have and what values you don't have. So it says that during a titration, 25 cubic centimeters of dilute sulfuric acid. So remember, again, you need to know what are your common acids and bases. So you need to know this one over here is an acid. So they give you the volume of your acid, which is 25 cubic centimeters, and it neutralizes it with my sodium hydroxide, which is a base. So I have the volume of the base as well, cubic centimeters. If the concentration of my acid solution, so I have the concentration of my acid, which is 0.25 moles per cubic decimeter. If the concentration of the acid is that, calculate the concentration of your base. Okay, so that is the unknown they want. You will notice as well that we don't have these values, but that's fine because we don't need to know the precise number of moles. We can also use our ratios. So the ratio of my acid to base, remember if there isn't anything in front here, it's a 1, is 1 to 2. So I can just put that in there as well. And then remember, we want our volumes in the correct units. So remember that 1 cube, if I want to take the cubic centimeter to cubic decimeter, I have to divide by 1,000. So it's 0.025 cubic decimeters, and this one is going to be 0.04 cubic decimeters. So that's what I put in my equation. So the concentration of my acid is 0.25 times its volume is 0.025. The concentration of the base is the one I want, so I leave that as my unknown, and my volume is there. So you can solve this in many different ways. I'm sure you can do the math of it, but you can change this to a decimal, and then just to get rid of this, go multiply it on the side and then divide with the coefficient there. Or an easy way to just get rid of the fraction is to cross multiply. So I multiply that with that. 1 times CB times 0.04, and I multiply that 2 times that. You can do it however way you want to, just make sure it's mathematically correct. And then to get my concentration of my base alone, I go and divide this whole thing with 0.04. So that means the concentration of my base is going to be 0.31 moles per cubic decimeter. And that is exactly how you would do it in your practical investigations as well. So I hope this video helped you. In the next couple of videos, we're going to be talking about hydrolysis in more depth, and we are going to start with our pH calculations.